If you're going to take on homesteading or gardening, you need to ask yourself, am I only a fair weather gardener? Because this time of year, when so much is required of us in the garden to keep things planted and weeded and watered during this vital time of growth, you've got to decide on the offset if you're going to be willing to head out, whether it's raining or hailing or so windy. This was our pocket of time to get moving on our market garden this week. If you remember, we put this garden in 3 years ago, and this is where we grow the majority of our vegetables. So it's a very important place for us. The problem with me, which you may well be aware of, is that I just can't handle when things aren't pretty. And this space was still feeling pretty ratty to me. Not only because of the weeding that needed to be done, but also because of the unfinished projects that I'd had my heart set on for years. So the time finally came, we got it penciled in the calendar, and we had to withstand the wind in order to make it happen. To me, it felt like the perfect symbolism of what it means to be a gardener. It means that you go out whether you feel like it or not. Regardless of how full my gardening day is, I set aside some time to keep learning Italian, and I'd like to thank Babbel for not only sponsoring today's video, but helping make that possible. You can click the link below the video to get 60% off your subscription. What language have you always wanted to learn? Babbel is the top language learning app in the world for a reason. They've built products that help connect people with others around the world through the power of language. I often use my latte break to catch up on their podcasts or just work through a lesson. Their classes are taught by native speakers, which is very helpful. And I love not only dreaming of Italy, but also actively working towards building a connection there. Oggi abbiamo molto lavoro da fare in giardino. Babbel makes it possible for me to practice my Italian anywhere, anytime, and you can get 60% off your Babbel subscription by using the link below the video. They offer you a 20-day money-back guarantee, and it's proven to help you start speaking a language in just 3 weeks. It's not windy.
It's a beautiful morning.
It's so beautiful. And I'm kind of glad we powered through yesterday, powered through the wind to do the bad work in the vegetable garden, which never stops, which is weeding. But I think sometimes we get so busy weeding that we forget to do some of the fun things or the things that make it feel beautiful to us while we're doing the hard stuff. So I was hoping this morning we could go up to the vegetable garden and make it a little prettier. Are you game for that?
Let's do it.
Okay. Birdie, what you doing? What you doing? Huh? You want to talk about this bed?
Oh man, this bed. What was in here?
All kinds of things were in here.
Yeah.
The problem is when gardens don't have an edge, the weeds and the grass will always creep in.
Well, and I think whatever was in this bed grew over the edge.
Yeah.
Without us pruning it. And that typically, you know, you go a season letting stuff kind of grow over and you don't really address those areas. And yeah, this one's really prone to the grass creeping in.
Yep.
So we knew we needed to redo this bed.
Yep.
So we kind of saved it till last.
Save the worst till last.
Yeah,
you know?
but I mean, you got to make those decisions because we needed to plant and a bunch of other ones, but we knew we kind of just needed to spend some time on this one. So
right. So this is going to be the entire thing is going to be in sweet potatoes, and they don't go until well after the frost. We've got them now, and they're ready to go.
Yeah.
So I mean, we'll be able to use all of this space.
Yeah.
But we're going to need to run to town to get a bunch more cardboard.
Yeah, I think we'll recompost it.
We'll
get
recompost it.
in, yeah.
Do the full shebang again.
Yeah.
But
I'm just gonna pull out all the stuff in here, try to get the roots up as best I can, and then we can prep it for planting.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Always so much to do. It's always really hard, especially in the vegetable garden, to focus on anything of aesthetic beauty because they're utilitarian. They're meant to be utilitarian. Yeah. They're meant to serve a purpose. And vegetable gardens can be unbelievably beautiful, but typically the gardener spends so much time doing labor, just keeping things alive, getting them going every year, keeping them weeded and watered. There's just not a ton of time to devote to other things. Yeah,
well, we're trying to make that happen today, so let's see what happens.
We'll see. Yep, so ideally we're gonna start to create some boundaries. So we have just an open field here. Let me spin you around. We've got just this open field behind the tractor here that we haven't done a ton with yet. And sometimes it just takes time to kind of get a vision for a space. But we're going to start by creating a little bit more of a barrier between the gardens and the grass. So cardboarding and putting wood chips down to snuff that grass out, just like we've done in this pathway here. So this was all originally grass, and now it's something else. But we've also got this great little picket fencing from Lowe's, just to kind of try to create some visual barriers, some visual differentiation between open pasture and garden beds, or what will be garden beds after you finish. All right, well, while you do that, I think I will start driving some of these. This is another way we're trying to kind of create boundaries for the garden, is to use lights to do that. Not only will that actually help us out here in the early mornings and late nights during the summertime, but it's gonna help to just kind of set some boundaries, set some lines for the space. So we got these great little metal shepherd's hooks here that we're gonna drive in to string the lights from, which will not only add height to the garden, but it's gonna actually serve practically to hold the lights. So let's do that.
While Stuart finishes up the hard work, I took on the task of dealing with some of those aesthetic things that were really bothering me in the vegetable garden. I just don't believe that because something's utilitarian means that it needs to be visually unpleasing. So part of that involved finally finishing my fence line with my little reeded heather rolls that I've had for years. They've just been sitting out in the sun and getting all kinds of weathered, but they're still usable, and it just sort of helps to create a little bit of a visual barrier to the surrounding orchards. Another piece that I've been wanting to incorporate for a long time has been some outdoor lighting. There's something about lighting that instantly creates an atmosphere, something that makes it feel joyful and relaxed, maybe slightly whimsical or magical. So this has been on my list for so long, but it's never been the priority. And you know what? It probably still isn't the priority, but it was finally time for us to just take some time and say, we're going to make this beautiful. We're going to make this a place that we want to be.
Come show me what you got, guys. Juju, come here. Come over here.
Bowl you got, or a bowl? Yeah, maybe a bowl. Maybe bowl.
This is a big project. It's a big garden, and there's a big pasture between the house and here. That means I've got to be patient because it's going to take time. Even the work that you see in this video took us over the course of 3 days to accomplish. So while there's still cardboarding and mulching and pathways to create on the other side of the fence, it feels good to have that bit done.
We've got the market garden weeded. We've got these sweet little lights in and a little picket fence, which sort of starts to make it feel a little bit more cottagey, like it's a part of the rest of our house. So it now feels like an organized place that we want to be, a place we want to come out to after dinner and spend some time in. We obviously still have a lot to do. This isn't ever a set it and forget it sort of a garden. Vegetable gardens require every piece of you all the time, all through the growing season. Their demands never, ever, ever, ever stop. So even though we're putting some of our last summer crops in now, like our sweet potatoes, which are gonna fill this bed here, we're gonna be out here every day at dawn from now until the end of the season to weed, to harvest, to take care of things, because your vegetable garden needs you. And I would like to think you need your vegetable garden. Hi, garden kitty. Hi, sweetie. All right, a few more things to get in, and we can call it good. I know this doesn't look like much now, and this bed needs a lot of mulch to combat the grass, but sweet potatoes grow so fast and they spread, and in no time this bed is going to be completely filled with bright green sweet potato vines. And then before the first frost, we'll pull them up and we will have mounds of beautiful orange sweet potatoes. It's one of my very favorite crops to grow. We have a few more things to plant this evening in the garden, but I have to tell you, this is my favorite time to be outside. We're gonna enjoy the sunset. We're gonna enjoy our new lights, our new fence, our weeded garden, at least for the moment, and just spend some time after all that labor enjoying what we've done.
I would encourage you, fellow gardeners, to take a moment today to make your vegetable garden beautiful, to make it a place that you want to be, a place that you're inspired by. I like to think that little things like this make a big difference to the world around us. Cheers.
Hi, buddy, come here. Come here. Come here. Come on. Did you get your bone? Come on. Come here, birdie.